you a game collector? Do you like having games on the shelf, and when you're not playing them, you like to look at the games that you've collected over the years? And sometimes maybe when you are confused on which games to play next, maybe you just go through all the CDs, you look at the spine, and you look at the game title, then you think, maybe, yeah, this is the game I want to play. And then you pick up the CD from the shelf, open the cover, take the CD out, and insert it in the console which you're using. In this case, the PlayStation. Well, that will no longer be working because, as we all know, Sony has discontinued or is going to discontinue physical games in the future. Wow. Now, again, this is something which I that everybody saw this coming. Right? This is not a surprise, right? But the outrage around it is very well deserved. Just because you don't see a truck heading your way at full speed and you know you're going to hit by it, and when you just miss and you jump on the side of the road to save yourself from that incoming truck, it doesn't mean that you don't have the right, or you don't have the right to yell at the driver who was about to hit you, right? You will be angry about it. You will be very pissed that this driver just tried to kill you. That is the same case in this situation where Sony just said, no, man, we are going to discontinue physical games. The games that you have, collect all you can until 2028 January, because after that, we are not going to print a single copy of any game. We are not going to give you any CDs. But we do have the PlayStation Store, the very same PlayStation Store that took away all the people's movies that they had purchased. 551 to be exact. They just took it all because the licensing issues. You see, they had all these licenses. The poor company, they couldn't run because of the licensing issues. So what did they do? They took away all the movies that people had purchased. Now, I don't know exactly how many movies were purchased by those people, and do people actually buy from the PlayStation Store movies? Now, I don't know if you are listening and if you had purchased it, I'm really sorry for you, because these companies are scummy and they will continue to do that. They will continue to do that. And the main reason for this outrage is not because people are ignorant and they didn't see it coming. This outrage is because people didn't think it would happen, because buying is an option. A customer, a player, a fan of any hobby deserves options. If you keep taking away their options and you only have one mode of purchase for any of your services, then that is a failure, in my opinion. That is a failure. Now, unless the storefront you're selling on, you're giving me good discounts, consistent discounts, then it's fine. But digital games had always had this issue, and I was always skeptical in the past or skeptical in the past regarding the always online feature, right? But when I used to just express my objection regarding always online uh, BS, people used to laugh at me. They used to call me an old timer. They used to call me, he's a boomer. Oh, he's just he's just old. His mentality is very outdated, antiquated, right? They used to laugh at me. My peers used to laugh at me that why are you so afraid of always online? Why is it a problem? Well, first of all, games that are always online, when those get discontinued, you cannot access them. Case in point, Crew. I cannot access it. Avengers gone. Where is Avengers tonight? Marvel's Avengers. Do you remember that game from Square Enix? Where is it? There's no Marvel's Avengers. Yes, I can buy a physical copy if I can find it, obviously. And physical games are discontinued. So obviously we have to now go back in time and just collect the games which we have not purchased before and buy those games. So all in all, this situation is really creating a mistrust, a layer of mistrust. It's adding another layer of uh, distrust or I don't know if it is a word or not, but it is creating a very, it's creating a rift between customers and these gaming companies, which has already been like a big crater, right? We are already one crater apart from each other because of these practices that they have been doing in the last exactly 5 years now. Ever since this generation of PS5 and Xbox Series X began, the games have just dried up. Where are the games, man, for these systems? Have you thought about that? Well, that's a topic for another video, but for this video I want to, I just wanted to uh, express myself, where many of the people think that this games, this digitization, or the sell the this uh, exchange of digital games, that this has happened all of a sudden. This is not all of a sudden, and this is not something that customers have done. We never demanded digital games. Never. Never did I hear somebody saying, yeah, I want that. I want digital. Now, maybe there are some people who like the convenience of it, me included, because if it is raining outside, and if everything around me is flooded and I don't want to get out of the house and I need a game, digital is an option. Option. And if it is sunny outside, I can go to the supermarket, or I can go wherever they are selling the games. I can buy the copy, come back home, put that CD in, and that CD, that physical game stays with me forever. That is an option. We like options. So they are gutting down our options. And this is not something which we as customers have initiated. We never said that, oh, let's make games digital only, let's make always online only games. No, we didn't do that. This we were indoctrinated, right? We were indoctrinated to buy digital games. We were funneled into this situation. And I will pinpoint to you when that began, or mostly when did people start buying more digital games than physical. I can pinpoint you the exact time. It was during the pandemic. Now people might think I keep bringing pandemic in all my videos, but during that time, 2020 onwards, the trend changed. Like, naturally, if people are sitting at home, they are bored, they can't go outside, social distancing, what do? They buy games digitally. They subscribe to Netflix, they subscribe to Amazon Prime, right? So we were ushered into this era where we were being pushed to digital. And even if you had bought physical games before the pandemic, there were frequent patches. The day one, no game worked on day one, ever. Like, I can count on one hand, guys. I can count that how many games worked on day one. When I put that disc in any of my consoles, hardly any game worked from the get go. Every game needed a patch. Even good games like Witcher needed patches in 2015, right? So none of the games that even were on those CDs worked on day one. So we had been conditioned to just be dependent on these digital patches, digital updates, DLCs, like all these expansion packs. Yeah, buy digital, convenient, right? Now, there was a lot of uproar back in 2013 when Xbox did that, but the irony is that we are now living that life. We are living in that age where we don't mind digital. We predominantly want digital. Why do we want digital? Because that is the option that is being pushed towards us predominantly. That is the option that we have been trained to choose ever since the pandemic. I have seen this trend that we have been pushed towards it more after that happened as well. 2022, 2023 is just pushing it. Many companies just didn't even come up with any physical copy. Now, I don't remember at the top of my head which games did that, but there were many games that don't have any physical copies. I don't think Black Myth Wukong has a physical copy for Xbox. They don't. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But there is no physical copy for Black Myth Wukong. And the funny thing is, at least in India, this is the case, that physical games are very, very expensive, especially new ones. And even the old ones are not that discounted. So I don't know if it's a trend only in India or not, but Like they are tricking us into it, tricking us by raising the prices on the physical goods and having these constant sales, or sale, these discounts on the store, and luring us into opting for digital more than physical. At least in India this has happened. Now I apologize if in your country the situation is different, where physical games are much more discounted, but in India physical games are half the price of a smartphone. So you have to think from that perspective, a buyer's perspective, that anybody will not just outright buy a new game as and when it launches. Now most of the spoiled brats who have money in their wallets, they do go for pre-orders and they do buy the game full price physical, but it is too expensive for someone who's running a budget and who has family to take care of, that they will just buy a game or multiple games the day and date they release, right? So the physical goods are highly priced and the digital prices go slightly down. They don't even go too low for it. They keep it just enough for you to consider digital games over physical games. Now this is something of a personal observation, and also some of my opinion is also mixed into it, but I have seen this trend, at least in India, where physical games are highly priced, even on Amazon, by the way. And this is even like older games are very highly priced, physical, PS5 and Xbox, both games. First of all, Xbox games physical are not available in India to that level, when compared to US or any other countries. So again, that is a market wise issue for Xbox. But let's consider PS5 for this discussion. PlayStation 5 games are still higher priced. The physical games are still higher priced than the digital counterparts. So if there is a sale on PlayStation Store and I go to Amazon, the Amazon still shows a higher price for those games. So as a consumer, I have to go for digital. Do you see that? So we don't have any option but to shift to digital, and that shift is what they are uh, putting into quotes as consumer trends. Well, those are your created trends. You created that situation for me to buy, right? So that is something which I wanted to discuss, that this is not what we asked. This is what they have provided us. They have pushed us towards it, and now they're saying that, hey, you wanted it. So we are discontinuing that option for you to own your games. So now they are going to take down, just as they took the movies out, they will take the games out. And I trust Sony that they will take back those games from you, even if you purchased it. So now, what options do we have? Now, again, we can vote with our wallets and not buy their games, but that is not really a feasible solution. We are gamers in the end. We do want good games, and sometimes Sony does create good games. Case in point, Wolverine. Now, that game is looking very good to me. But then again, the point still stands. What do we do from here? Or where do we go from here now? Now, personally, I think we should be okay with just being with digital only. That is one option. The second option is to completely boycott PlayStation games, buy a PC, build a PC, get the digital games from Steam, and then have a Steam Deck for your portable needs, and then call it a day. Wait for the PS6 to come, see what they are offering and what price they are offering it for, and then see, does it comes with a disc, do they change their mind, or it is fully digital. Now there are rumors, whispers that are happening, that both Xbox and PS6 will be going full digital. So I don't know, but yeah, that is the whole gist of it. We can shift our consoles, we can shift to a different platform, try PC, try out a medium build PC, go for it. Have Steam, because Steam has great discounts, but again, that's a monopoly. But at least on PC you have different options. You can go for GOG, you can go for Steam, you can again sail the high seas. If you catch my drift, you can go for that and get your games cheaper. Right, we can do that. At least you get to have those games in the library intact, most of them at least. So as gamers we can do that, and just vote with their wallets and just avoid PlayStation for a while, avoid Sony for a while, and even wait for Xbox to just change their direction, because even they are not in a good situation right now. I also wanted to talk about Xbox, so that will be for a separate video. But this is just going to be focused on this uh, death of physical games, so to speak. Now, personally, I have been buying digital games mostly. When I look at my library, I have been buying a lot of games digitally, and let me tell you why. Because I bought an Xbox Series X, and there are very few physical Xbox games available in India, and there is Game Pass, so I am forced to play digitally, right? It's not like somebody is uh, whipping me into playing these games digitally, but I have no option and I want to play games. And in India, if you are on Xbox, most of or the predominant option is to go for digital games. So I have transitioned to those games, and I don't have a PlayStation 5. I had a PS4 though, and I had a lot of games on PS4, at least 50 games on PlayStation 4. So I have a lot of I have a good collection of those CDs, and I will not lie, it feels amazing to look at those CDs. When I look at the CD, I can still boot up my PlayStation 4. I can put that CDs in those sockets. I can still play the game from the disc. Now, obviously, the patches will get downloaded and all those shenanigans will happen, but still, I do have this choice to buy a physical copy and look at it and collect it if I want to and revel in it, right? Now, this is just my rambling. Let me know your thoughts on this, and let me know in the comments, what do you think about this physical games? Are you hurt by this? And I am personally hurt. Um this is just not the right direction for gaming in general. I think everybody should have option to buy their games in whichever form they like. That's all I want to talk about in this video. Until the next video in the NiKo show, guys, take care, stay happy, and keep gaming, guys. Bye.